we are going. We are going. Can I hear?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear.
All right.
We can hear. Look, we can see
You
us.
look good?
Yeah. See all those people? We don't see it. This is weird for us because we're not talking to anybody really, but we're talking to everybody. We feel a little naked. It's like you're an eye of the world viewing us. Are you looking? You're spying on us. So we know you're. Well, not really, because we know they're there, right? We hope. We hope.
Yeah,
you're there.
we hope you're watching.
Yeah. Whatever. Even if it's one of you, that's still people.
Score.
Yeah, they're still spying on us. Yeah. You don't have to look at them. They're like voyeurs to our little thing here. So yeah, if you're tuning in, this is the Soul Mech Podcast. We are episode 1. Really excited.
Episode 1.
Yep. Coming live, not live, not live. Because we're recording. But yes, it's from paradise itself, Honolulu, Hawaii.
Our studio in Honolulu, Hawaii.
Yeah. Downtown, it's paradise. It's just been a nice day,
Yeah, it was a really nice day. Kind of hot, some wind.
Yeah, it's, I mean.
What can I complain about, right?
Yeah. Went for pad thai,
Had some wings.
Had some wings. Just so you know, my name is DJ Mana. Some of you know this already. This is my partner in crime,
Trish-A. You can call me Trish.
Yes. We're really excited to have episode 1. I don't know what we're talking about. We do. We're just going to talk about all kinds of stuff, but really we want to, our main goal is to provide you with value, Today's episode, we call it the Manifesto. The Manifesto. Actually, can you look at that? What is a manifesto? Actually, can you go on Wikipedia?
Sure.
Wiki.
Oops.
Yeah.
You have all my school stuff.
Today we're just kind of giving you, a statement of purpose, I suppose. Not to be too formal. This is a podcast. We're just gonna ramble on sometimes, but we do have some talking points. We will try to. Yes, we want to. Walk out of here with something. Something of value. We'll tell you what it is. Or we hope you get some value out of this. But we're gonna give you a little bit of a bio of ourselves. So you know who we are and what we're really trying to do. There's a lot of podcasts out there, but hey, listen, there's also a lot of books. People write books. It's how we record the history.
We connect.
Yeah, it's how we connect. Yeah.
Today we have the internet and we can instantly connect with everyone, and so this is one way of connecting with the world, so we don't have to write a book.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the spoken word now can be almost as powerful as what the Gutenberg printing press did before. It allowed you to sort of immortalize your ideas. Yeah, we have our digital footprint now. Yeah. Instead of printing it out, we have our digital footprint. Yeah. So today is our manifesto. What is a manifesto, by the way? Manifesto is a published declaration of the intentions, motives, or views of the issuer, be it an individual, group, political party, or government, whatever. Just take it lightly. Take it with a grain of salt. We're just a bunch of ordinary Joes here. Everybody has an agenda. We're just trying to, go along our daily lives. So we got lives too. We got jobs. We got kids. We're not the experts at everything. We just want to, make you laugh at the very least. Entertain you. But, we got some Easter eggs too, So today, really, we're just going to talk about, what we want to do, the manifesto, our statement of purpose, really. And it's kind of an informal, conversational way. But just to let you know, our podcast, we try to do something more than just sitting here like talking heads, like you see right now. We're not just going to be talking heads for 3 hours, maybe 2. We could go to 2. We can go honestly. We can just sit here quietly. But we're going to do stuff. Okay? And we're going to go off on tangents, but we kind of, we'll focus back. What was I saying?
A manifesto.
Manifesto, yes. Okay, but aside from us just being talking heads, we have little inserts, like we do little pieces in the field. We edit it together just for, just to break the monotony a little bit. Some of those things can be just entertaining, kind of, historical, anything really. We're mostly a sort of multidisciplinary sort of approach to sort of giving you a companion for lifelong learning. We really encourage lifelong learning, self-improvement, and a positive outlook. So we do have a lot of topics. I mean, obviously I'm going to talk about topics that I'm an expert at, but I am not an expert at everything yet. I haven't mastered the universe yet. Give me a few more weeks. Yeah, but we're just trying to, we're going along too. We're just think of it as a peer learning. I wish you can talk back to us right now. We can have a conversation, but you can, write the comments down below. Any comments are good. Just don't harass us. That's all you can. I don't care. Negative comments are good. Positive comments are good. Just say what's up. Enter the conversation. Also, please click the like and subscribe button.
Yep.
Right here. And since it's recorded, I can do all these effects. Welcome to Soul Mech Podcast. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, they're gonna feel that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the topics really. So at least this is not. I'm just listing a few, but we're gonna get guests that are experts in their field to share perspectives. Really, the value you'll get is, and I guess I would say in anything in life, if you can change your perspective at all through any sort of thing, I think, is that will give you some value, And really, value is, I usually think value is utility, because I'm just like pragmatic like that. Some people would say, oh, value, it's got to be rare. But then you got a question. I mean, is it valuable because it's rare? Like, let's say we were stuck on an island, right? Where we are. We're not stuck here.
But we are on an island.
We're on an island. But let's just say you had little resources, but you have gold. That's rare. But is there utility? But then you have, what's more valuable, gold or drinkable potable water?
Water.
Yeah.
Because what can you do with the gold at the time?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean. I don't want to get wax philosophical, but we're going to do a lot of that. The philosophy, practical philosophy. That's one of the things what we like to talk about. Because it's practical, we can't really do much, we can't really poke you here and rough around with you. We got to just talk. We're just talking heads here. So philosophy is pretty perfect for that, Martial arts, I do martial arts a lot. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 16 years. Music, I'm going to talk a lot about, different hobbies that I consider are good hobbies. What else? General health and self-care. Again, we're not experts at everything. We're trying to go through our own journeys too. So this is kind of our way to put our feet to the fire too, I need to work on a lot of stuff in my life.
I do too. Yeah.
So don't, in terms of credibility, I get it. It's like, who are these guys to tell us what to do? We're not telling you what to do, okay? We're just doing our thing. Hopefully you want to join us in our journey. We're trying to be better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's good to know that there's other people that are going through the same things that you are.
Yeah.
And so that's how we learn also through other people's life experiences as well. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for this is that we provide something that you can learn from and take from and get inspired by.
Yeah, exactly. And inspiration, just perspectives and ideas, Sometimes we'll just take it straight off Wikipedia. We'll just read Wikipedia to you, because you didn't have the thought to go to that page. I'm like, why didn't you go to this page? And say, no, why don't you do it? I'll do it. I'll read it for you. It's like a bedtime story, I call this like a kids show, but for adults, huh?
How do adult?
Yeah, how to adult.
How to adult.
Again, we will be. She is a teacher, by the way.
I am.
So it can't take the teaching out of it. Sometimes we will be teaching you straight up because some things I'm pretty damn good at. You gotta show you guys. I gotta show them, the children. And by children, I mean adults. Hopefully, you guys that are watching, the 13 of you, maybe more.
Hey.
Who knows?
And we appreciate that.
Yeah. So yeah, our general purpose is to add value to your lives, really, through, promoting lifelong learning, hopefully being examples of that. We're going to show you some other stuff we've recorded in the field. We got the Easter eggs. We'll call them Easter eggs. Every day here is Easter, and there's eggs. It's videos. Okay? Lifelong learning, self-improvement, and positive mindset, Who's our audience, by the way? Who are we aiming to? I aim for everybody, but honestly, let's be honest, right? Because there's some people who might gravitate towards this more, I think, I would guess, we can look at this is more like a bet right now,
A bet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, with myself, can I predict who's going to be watching this? Hopefully somebody, but who? The demographic. You can think about that. We don't have to answer now. It's like they're already there. They know it if they look at themselves in the mirror. I don't know who it is. I hope I know. But you can see after. You got those analytics.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll check it out later. Hopefully, obviously, people around our demographic. I mean, we're like middle class. We're in our, say our age between, 20 to 40 something. That might be our age. Might not be. Because I didn't say we were anywhere there. Just,
Anyway.
Yeah. That's my guess,
Yeah.
Middle class, 30s, people. I guess I do have I think I have some followers that, I used to DJ. I used to be somebody cool.
Oh
DJs are cool.
Yeah, DJs are cool.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah. DJs are cool.
Yeah. I guess I'm just going down this list now. We got, I just want to let you know the format of this show. Yeah, again, talking heads with our little Easter eggs. You'll see later. Today, I'm just going to list it for you. We got, what do we got here? I'm going to go down this list. What did we do? Oh, yeah. So I got some drone shots for you guys of Hawaii. It's, some historical views. It's very interesting. We got a little food review of two local restaurants.
Yeah. That was fun.
And we got a little, part about her trip to Philly for a conference. What was the conference called?
It was an ISTE conference, so educational technology.
Yeah,
so I was around technology. It was great.
Yeah. So that's another thing that we'll discuss. That's another topic that's going to be on our list for general topics of the show is technology. It's like I said, it's a modern day companion for the lifelong learner. Modern day meaning, technology is a huge part of it. So technological literacy is kind of paramount in our way of navigating today's world. If you relinquish that kind of puts you at a disadvantage, I would say. So being on top of that is it's what we're trying to do. And there's all kinds of stuff these days. We're at a really crazy crossroads, and she's going to talk about that because her conference that she went to had a lot of the AI stuff in education.
That was a hot topic.
Yeah, we'll touch on that. What else? We're just going down this list here. We got just some more music. Oh yeah, some jujitsu. Every episode, I'll be doing some sort of tutorial somehow. If jujitsu people watch this, hopefully you can get some value out of that. Even if it's kind of cool just to see some stuff. Also I do music. I play piano, and I play do some scratching. So sometimes I'll do some tutorials or just some little improvisation, right? What else here? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's our Easter eggs. Stay tuned for them Easter eggs. Gonna be hot. Yeah. So, we're just gonna tell us about us. Tell us who you are,
Me
Trisha.
first? Okay, me
Yeah.
first. Okay, so I'm Trish-A. You can call me Trish. I was born and raised here in Makakilo, so Kapolei
Mm-hmm.
area, but Makakilo was not part of Kapolei in the beginning. It was actually Eva Beach, but we can get into that later on. What else? I am an educator. I am a teacher, English teacher by heart, but I deal a lot with technology. I'm a yearbook advisor, so yeah, I get to take a lot of pictures and oversee the yearbook. And I also teach digital storytelling, and that is something that I want to create more of, and that's, perfect podcast, podcast. And so I'm a mom, so I'll be referencing my son a whole lot. I don't know if he'll like that, but yeah, I'll be referencing my son, because that's my little not so little man. But yeah, that's just me in a nutshell. I like to take Muay Thai. I just started. It's fun. I like sports, music, and I don't know. I just like connecting with people. So I hope you enjoy this podcast.
What are your main inspirations?
Hmm.
Do you look up to? Do you read books or?
I read a whole lot. Yeah. I read a whole lot. I read science fiction. I like science fiction. A lot about dystopias. Yeah. I'm a girl that reads sci-fi. But I like classical literature too. English major, right? So I read a lot of Aristotle. Right now we're doing rhetoric. I don't know. I like to read. Yeah.
So as an English, because I have an engineering background,
Okay.
English. Do you do a lot of philosophy studies in that? I don't know what at a certain point I don't know what that kind of liberal arts studies would entail.
Well, for English is a really cool subject, and I think a lot of people mistaken English as, we just read and we just write. But actually, we study the world, we study philosophy, we study history, because a lot of writing is tied to history.
Uh-huh.
Because of course, it went from oral tradition to writing it down, and that's the big thing in English. And so, when I was an English major at UH, I learned a lot about Hawaiian history, because a lot of the stories that we were reading tied back to Hawaiian history.
Yeah.
I studied women's studies because I had to study books in English. So honestly, English encompasses a whole lot of things. It's not just the canon of Shakespeare and Chaucer. It's everything. Nonfiction too. You can analyze nonfiction. It's a really interesting. It was a really interesting major, and if I have the time, I would get my PhD in English, just because I like analyzing and looking at these things and connecting it to the real world. And I think that's important, because I think a lot of kids are like, I don't like English. I said, but if you connect English and make it relevant, people will enjoy reading, because if it's relevant to them and they can connect with it, and it's all about the connection.
Yeah.
That's how they'll be able to be like, okay, I like to do this.
I think the big hurdle with reading in general was just the actual reading part. I know it sounds stupid and redundant, but hear me out here. It's
Okay.
you got to put stuff in your face and read it with your eyes. Some people have bad eyes. Look, if you see my glasses, I don't know if you noticed this, but I got some really thick ass glasses here.
Yeah.
My eyes weren't really that good, so for me that was just kind of the physical hindrance to reading. What do you make of let's say the advent of Audible?
Audible?
Yeah.
I think wherever you can promote literacy
Yeah.
is good. And honestly, I prefer books because it's tactile, and I'm a tactile person. I like the touch of paper. But for people who don't like that,
Yeah.
and they can read on a screen and they're able to do it, that's fine. Just as long as they have that. Like, I think even Audible, like, if that's what they enjoy and if that promotes
Yeah, I think I'm
reading?
thinking of it from like a biological standpoint,
yeah.
like in the sense that like I'm wondering, and this is just kind of a rhetorical question. I think
I get what you're saying.
you know, like
Yeah.
that guy Andrew Huberman. You guys should watch that podcast, by the way. That's one of my biggest inspirations. But like, I'm not sure. I'm speculating whether or not a different modality would trigger different parts of your learning capability. You know what I mean?
I think it does
Yeah.
because I mean I can touch upon, like, when I write down notes with paper and pen, it's a whole different ballgame than typing it out. I mean, and it like, I'm not a scientist, so I don't know like
Yeah.
what part of the brain, but I do know that I remember things more when I write them down versus when I'm typing, because I can talk to you, type, and not remember what I type. And that's why, like, I feel like I'm the kind of teacher that I am. I'm very into technology, but I also have one foot in the old school paper and pen
Yeah.
type of learning because of the memory and because of the part of the brain that writing and paper and tactile type of learning will trigger.
There's also that's a good point.
Yeah.
I think with writing, it might be a bit more of you have more spatial control in terms of how you can map out your ideas. For instance, unless you're really good at, like, you know, making all the indents and everything on the fly, then typing can be kind of a little bit linear. Unless, I mean, I guess it depends on your skill, right?
Yeah, I mean,
because when you're writing, you have a little bit more of like a two-dimensional control. If you're gonna write and then you kind of do it in a different, even clustering your information differently on a page, it makes you think in a different way.
well,
You know?
a lot of well, if you go to some of, like, the educational conferences, a lot of them promote, like, doodling is a way of taking notes, like doodling on actual paper, not like on an iPad, just because for some reason people, and I, like I said, I'm not an expert, but you will remember better. Like when I used to study in college, I used to write my notes and then rewrite them, because if I don't remember the exact information, I'll remember where I wrote it, and then that was like, okay, and that'll trigger, okay, now I remember. So and that's why I always kind of encourage students to always, try and write it down. I mean, I know it's tiring, but like writing it down, I feel like will help people remember things a little better. And I'm not knocking computer, like taking notes on your computer. I'm not knocking that at all, because some people can study that way, but for some reason writing stuff down, it, like I said, biologically, or I don't know, it hits some part of your brain. It's more mindful. You're more mindful writing it rather than typing it. And when you're more mindful and you're in the moment, you'll more likely remember. That's what I think. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Because I can talk to you and type, and then I'll be like, oh, what did I type? And then I don't remember. But because I can multitask and type stuff. But if I'm writing stuff down, sometimes like I won't, I'm focused on that. And then I'm like, okay, like I said, if I don't remember the exact information, I'll know where I wrote it down. So I'm like, okay, and then that triggers all these other things. And do I make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can go on and on about this, because like
There was one thing that's objective though about the screen thing.
Yeah.
About the screen, the one thing that I do know that is a fact that is applicable to everybody is the fact that you have flicker on the screen. So what happens when you have flicker, your eyes start to do mini saccades away. So if your eye starts to look away, your eyes get tired more quickly. So the fatigue will make you not able to concentrate as much on a rather than on a paper. It's just a simple thing like that, but it's not. There's nothing magical. So I don't think there's anything magical about paper, or it's actually the magical crappiness of flickering. You know.
Well, that's actually another thing too, because can you imagine having all these students on the computer 8 hours a day in every single class? Because now schools have one-to-one computers, students and computers, and a lot of them use their computers to take notes. So, and then they watch videos for classes stuff. So can you imagine if they didn't have that break and they're on their computer for 8 hours? Well, they would be tired. But I'm tired looking at a computer doing all my work, and so I can imagine how they would feel. So I try to take breaks in class from the screen.
Yeah. Technology,
but I still love technology, though. I love technology.
Well, yeah, me too.
But I also think that there's ways of kind of being able to not regulate, but manage and control the amount of time that you're on the screen.
Speaking of the then and now, I like new technology, old technology, but we're gonna cut away right now to our first little Easter egg here. I did a little piece. It's a little then and now of the neighborhood that I live in, Hawaii Kai. Okay, we're talking about technology, the then, the old, and the new. Behold, Hawaii Kai. Okay, recording. So that's recording, right?
Yes, it is.
Cool. We get that. I'm gonna say bam, and it's gonna go, bam.
Bam.
Okay, so it's bammed. Bam, bam. We're gonna watch this. We're gonna watch us watch. It might be on there. It might be an outtake. Who knows? It's always better to have more. Look at that. So, I think creepy music here. I don't know.
Oh, that's a nice shot.
Yeah. Almost the same way. This is from the other side. And then to that. See that? Surreal, eh?
Yeah. Wow. So developed, yeah.
Yeah.
Compared to that other picture.
Oh yeah, I should have said place. We're looking at the Cocoa Head now, and then that's the Cocoa Head, and then there's no highway there, There's all like probably mud, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And then. Pretty cool, huh?
Those are great shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nice. It's really breathtaking shots here. We have beautiful view. I think it's important to acknowledge everywhere you're from. You know, if you're going to reach out to the world, anyone goes global, always bring a piece of where you're from. You know, that's what gives you your personality. You know, and what better place? I mean, we're here. This place is a blessing. To be honest, I moved here. You know, I could say that I kind of grew up here because my mom moved here when I was in my teens. I was 13. You know, I'm from Canada originally. You know, born and raised on the playground. That's where I spent most of my days. No, my mom moved here when I was you know, in my teens. I moved here officially 10 years ago. I've been DJing a long time, but then I switched careers. I became an engineer. I went back to school. So that's a big part of my sort of raison d'être. Je parle français aussi. I speak French because I'm from Montreal. Yeah, I do, you know, engineering, music, and martial arts. Music, math, martial arts, you know? And then now I live, you know, in Hawaii Kai, beautiful Hawaii Kai. You saw that video. It's kind of eerie, isn't it? It's like, it always trips me out when I come here. You know, I mean, the places are beautiful. It's just seeing, I guess, any place when you see all those historical pictures, yeah? Like juxtaposed. And especially here, people, the culture here is very, places and names have a huge significance in the tradition, you know? I think it's very important, like, coming here to acknowledge, you know, the culture and try my best to learn about it a little bit as much as possible, you know? So, yeah, I live in Hawaii Kai. It's fairly well developed. It's I don't know if you know, but Hawaii Kai was actually named, they named something Hawaiian-ish for Henry Kaiser. You know that?
No,
yeah,
I didn't.
It's not Hawaii Kai. That place that you saw, that whole place is called Mauna Loa Bay, all the way from Anaheina to Hanauma Bay, right? So you got, and what you saw, that pond there, the Coca Marina, what we call it now, that place was Kuapa Pond. It was a pond. This is one of the biggest. I'm pulling it up in the wiki right now, so don't mind me. I'm just reading. Okay. Kuapa Pond, also known as Keahu Mauna Lua. Yeah, Mauna Lua it means like the two mountains, right? The shrine of the baby mullet at Mauna Lua. See, the thing about the names that they have is important that for them, first of all, they're an oral tradition. Second, they had a lot of information in the names. You know, you had the names, especially names of places and names of people. Names of places was, when you name a place, it had information about the geographical features, you know? So if you rename it, especially with, like, you know, you kind of give it another name, it kind of like, you kind of lose that history, you know? So it's important to, like, you know, even just to utter these words, just to know that it's there. It's good that you know, I have a wiki that I can look it up. You know, it's very fascinating, very eerie. It's kind of sad sometimes, this history, but you know, sometimes we are on the shoulders of a lot of, you know, suffering. You know, we can't. You know, I don't think it does any like use to like feel bad and wallow in, you know, but it's good to, I think it's important to acknowledge, you know, the history of places. It'll change your perspective. You know, history for me has value because giving another perspective allows you to see your connectedness with people. You know, the more you can change your perspective, you know, you're always changing your perspective with respect to other people's perspective, you know, because those are perspective havers. People, they gotta have brains and they gotta like have eyes and they see stuff standing over there, you know? You change, you know, you just go stand over there and then look, you know, interesting. You know, I wasn't able to stand, you know, my drone, I was just flying my drone. Just lo and behold, someone was somewhere taking a picture pretty damn close to where that drone was, you know? Looked kind of like the same shot, kind of eerie. You saw the highway. The highway wasn't there. That was a wall.
Yeah.
Those ponds were just, for people who don't know, they have the fish ponds. Some of them natural, some of them, I think that might be man-made. I don't know. But they build a wall so that all the baby fish would come in, and then all the algae and all the, the reef or whatever they feed on, they would just feed in there, and then they would get big, and then the wall would prevent these big-ass fish from coming out. So they would just be stuck in those ponds, and then, you would just go in these ponds, and that's how you would make your living. It's just eating off of the land. Yeah. Obviously, it looks a little bit like, swampy, right? But then gentrification came along, and then they had to dredge that whole place. There's no fish anymore. It's just like, houses. It looks nice, It's nice in another way, but it's yeah. I mean, I like living there. But yeah, you kind of feel a little bad, but yeah, it's
just good to know the history of where you're at so that you can appreciate it better.
Yeah. What's that other place? Place called Ford Island. This is the craziest story. Ford Island used to be called Moku Ume Ume. Okay. You know what that meant? It was an island. So Ford Island, I don't know if you guys know it's in the middle of Pearl Harbor, and it used to be called Moku Ume Ume. It's an island of the Ume Ume. Ume Ume was a game that they played. Okay, so there's these sterile guys that they had sex with their wife. They couldn't make babies, or they're just like, I don't know, maybe impotent. I don't know. They just having problems with the baby making thing, So what they did was they went to this island, and then they got these alpha Chad dudes. You know what I mean? And then they're like, okay, you can one night, you can set the wife free to just like go bang one of these like alpha Chad guys that can get them pregnant and stuff. But when they come back home to their husbands, the baby belongs to not the the Chad guy. Yeah, I know I'm not really explaining this the way the story is supposed to be told, but that was the game. The Ume Ume game was kind of like a mating game for couples that couldn't have babies. So they got sterile, not sterile, but like fertile, meant like strong. Right. I guess I would imagine that they were probably fairly good-looking dudes, like those. Yeah, look it up, Moku Ume Ume. But anyway, see, point is that name has a lot of information, a lot of history, all just in that name. You call it Ford Island, you just kind of take away a little bit. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I thought that was interesting.
It is true.
Yeah. It is true. Yes, I'm not making this up, guys. I'm just saying it in a weird way. Pardon my, Canadianness. I've been living for 10 years, but I'm trying to learn, the history. It really does, fascinate me. So, every now and then, I'm going to try to bring a little bit of that just to change your perspective. Hopefully, you guys can comment if you guys know more. That I would love to learn more. It's important to acknowledge where you're from, Yeah. It really is, because you're gonna interact. We're humans that interact with people. We're cavemen, ooga booga, walking around. We don't just go on screens. We're not designed to just do this. We don't feel. I know we're trying to connect with other people with this, but our body's just not designed. We got to be in smelling distance of each other. Right? Yeah. Now I feel, So you got to go smell the people in your community.
And connect.
Yeah, connect. But we are reaching out to the world. We are doing digital, multidisciplinary. We got all kinds of ways of reaching you guys. All the way out in wherever you are. Some people in Canada, I got my crew there. So... Yeah, but it's good to acknowledge where you're from. If you're going to go around and represent, just represent, yo. Yeah. So I'm representing, I'm bringing my Canadianness a little bit, I'm from Canada. I moved here 10 years ago. I love it here. Yeah. So what's it, what about you? How's it like growing up here? Did you live anywhere else at all?
No, I was born and raised here. So in Makakilo, Makakilo is interesting because it's small up on a hill. I definitely will touch on the history of Makakilo and
Yeah, we're
Kapolei.
gonna do the drone next time.
Yeah,
Stay tuned. We're gonna have this series of drones everywhere.
Because Kapolei area has a really interesting history as well. There's actually a place where you can go and see old Kapolei, and they tell stories about what Kapolei used to be before it became developed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I went on that tour because we had to go for school, and it was really interesting. So we'll touch on that later. Maybe next episode, right? Next
you know
episode?
what?
Yeah.
We can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
You know?
We'll touch on that. But yeah, Makakilo used to be a part of Eva Beach.
Mm-hmm.
So when I used to have to write my address, I would have to say Eva Beach. And then Kapolei was built, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, no. Now you're a part of Kapolei. So now Makakilo is part of Kapolei. I've seen that area as sugarcane, and then all of a sudden now we have houses, and we have Target and Kamakana Ali'i Mall, right? And so but I really enjoyed living in Hawaii and being raised here because of the different cultures that we have here. Like we do have a diverse population. A lot of ethnic groups are living here, and so we immerse ourselves in different cultures. Like, I'm Filipino, but I know superstitions of Hawaiians and Chinese. We bust fireworks New Year's to keep away the evil spirits, because that's what the Chinese do with the red firecracker. So being here, I learned to respect and also learn more about other people. Not that I wouldn't do that if I were living in the mainland, but here, because we're so, we live on an island, right?
Yeah.
And so it's so easy to get to know people because we live on an island. Like, yeah. I mean, I can be friends with...
Did you ever feel stuck here? Like...
I did a little, because...
It's pretty big. It's not that small.
I did... once in a while I get that, I get the fits to travel. So I do appreciate going and traveling, because I do know the importance of experiencing the world outside of Hawaii. I don't want to have to just be having the perspective. I like to get other perspectives. And that's what traveling is all about, is learning, learning of other people, and learning from a different perspective, and seeing the world. Because I always encourage my son, like, if you have a chance, if you want to move, go ahead and move, so at least you can experience life outside of Hawaii. And if you want to come back home, we're always at home. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to come back home, to Hawaii, hopefully we're still here.
Cold sucks, though. It does. I swear to God.
Yeah,
I don't
how's
know
it coming from Canada to, like...
But this is the thing. This is when I see people say that. I mean, there's another thing. Okay, I'm just devil's advocate here. Some people from Hawaii, they go places because, to me, it looks like it's novelty, and like, I just want to go there. But then when the cold sets in and your bones just feel like you're just gonna die. Actually, there's something that it does to you, because when you feel that cold down to the bone, it builds this sort of character, like this raw character of yours. You just feel like it's yeah. I think everyone has to feel that. It shakes you up a little bit, I mean, it can either shake you up, actually, or it can actually bring you down a lot. There's actually seasonal affective disorder. I think that has to do more with light, though. The lack of light. There's actually, like, for some reason, I mean, not for some reason, for that reason, actually, there's a lot of people that commit suicide in January in Montreal, or in that, latitude. I mean, non-coincidentally with, they call it SAD. How funny is that? SAD, seasonal affective disorder.
Play on words, but not a play on words.
Yeah, it's like, come on, guys. Anyway.
Well, I like, how do I follow up on that? No, but I mean, you should kind of experience that, because what if you get like, I mean,
It's true. No,
right?
no.
You should.
Yeah. I didn't say not to. No.
Yeah. I mean, but I just feel that, I mean, even if you're on the mainland, you should come to Hawaii to see how it is as well. You know, so vice versa. Like I feel
I'm staying here. I ain't going anywhere else now.
Yeah, I mean, just for travel though. You know what I mean? Like just. I don't know. I mean, I travel because I have conferences and stuff to go to and stuff, you know, but I do like to get out of the island for a little bit, just so that I can experience other places, and also honestly, I appreciate it more when I come back.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Because if I'm stuck in the cold and I come back here and it's nice and sunny, I appreciate it more. Whereas if I just stayed here and never experienced anything else, I would take it for granted and be like, okay, yeah, it's cold, it's hot here. But you know, when you experience something different and you come back, I feel like you can appreciate something a little better.
I mean, that's an understatement. You know, people that visit, my family, when they visit, you know what happens? When they leave, they cry like it's the end of the world.
Oh, well.
It's like, well, I mean, you don't understand. If you hate winter and you have been to that depression, it's like going back to hell of some sort, you know? You're like in a spacesuit. It's like you're going out where it hurts your face to go outside, you know? But I'm not there. I'm here.
Like,
a lot of people hate me. Speaking of here, you know, we are here to also, part of our manifesto, after we've rambled on about a bunch of stuff. Hope you know us a little bit more. This is how brains work. Okay? It's a slow process here. You know, it's not, you can't just get it all in one shot. What was I going to say? Yes, we are here. Support local too. You know, we are trying to reach global, but you know, we are local, so we're gonna emphasize that quite a lot. You know, local businesses. Speaking of local business, we love restaurants. We love to eat. You know, sparingly. We're trying to get healthy too. But every now and then, I gotta eat my fried chicken. You know.
Fried chicken.
Yeah. It's my guilty pleasure. You know, so. We want to share with you, for all you travelers out there, hopefully you can tune into our channel sometimes, you know, like if you want to learn about Hawaii. Just from our perspective, we're going to add more value for that, you know, in terms of just information, you know. Go to places, you know, don't eat at McDonald's all the time. I mean, actually, even McDonald's here, they got that taro pie. That's actually pretty good. They got the local breakfast, you know.
They got the Portuguese sausage, eggs, and rice.
You know, so you can't really avoid it. But we do encourage you to check out some of the local restaurants. Check out this little piece we got, little Easter egg. 2 restaurants in one next to the other. A place called, believe it or not, Itchy Butt.
Itchy Butt.
And Keamoku Seafood.
Yeah.
Check it out. Just parked my car on Kinao and Keamoku to get some sashimi at Keamoku Seafood and some chicken at Itchy Butt. They are 2 restaurants right next to each other. And these are local restaurants. Yes, let's do that, and we're going to do a little review. This is the corner of Kinao and Keamoku. Zoom out here. We got Itchy Butt. Parking's a little small. But here's the menu. I'm just gonna order. Back in studio. Oh my god, it's hot. You might be able to hear the AC, but that's okay. We're gonna try the Itchy Butt first. Okay, because you gotta eat it while it's hot. Okay, let's unbox this. What does it come with? What did I order? Just the half chicken, the regular chicken. It comes with a drink. I didn't know. Yay! So I got a drink
for you.
And I got some chopsticks. And every time you get fried chicken, they always got to leave some breathing room. That's when you know they're pros. See? They don't wrap the whole thing up because it gets soggy. Right? Look at this.
Oh, that looks good.
It is good. Oh my god, look at that.
Oh.
Look at this. That's from Itchy Butt. But to really know a place, for fried chicken, you gotta order the regular kind, the flagship regular, or else you don't know what you're eating, right? Because then you got it doused in chicken.
And sauce.
Chicken sauce, right? But yeah, it's called itchy butt. I guess if you eat it with the sauce, it might give you an itchy butt.
Well, this is my first time trying it because I've driven past there all this time, but I've never ever tried it.
Yeah.
So.
And this is, when you go to a place, if you guys are here traveling, we do encourage you to support local. All these local restaurants, you got all kinds of chains. You can always go there everywhere.
So what's that?
This is, I think it's pickled radish.
Like daikon?
Daikon, yeah. Let me just show the people. Here, I'll tilt it over a little bit. That's what it is.
Nice.
All right, so let's just dig in. This is drumstick. That's pretty damn good. Yeah, it's juicy and it's got that crunchiness to it. I don't think this will give me the itchy butt. Not this one.
This is good. Itchy butt. What other flavors do they have?
They have, Korean shoyu, garlic. They have, Korean spice. Mm-hmm. So it's like a sweet and spice. And they got just the regular spicy, which I think when I got that spicy one, it tastes kind of like a little bit Korean spice anyway. I didn't try the Korean one per se.
You tried the shoyu one?
I didn't try the shoyu one. So I guess that would be the next level, right?
Yeah, because now I have a basis of comparison.
Yeah. But I think shoyu would be like the next sort of like one step up from like the generic one. I don't know, maybe. Mm-hmm. Or is that?
You mean like one step up, not spicy yet? Yeah,
not spicy, but like flavored. It's like it's because sometimes the flavor, I would say, to be honest, it overtakes it a little bit.
Yeah.
So there's another. This reminds me of a place called Vaughn's Chicken as well.
Yeah, I tried that one.
Yeah. Good. So I'm not sure if Vaughn's is local. I don't know where that's from.
I think it's local. There's several.
Yeah.
Places, and then there's like also another one, in Punya called Steve's Chicks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's more like Korean food too, not just wings.
This is pretty good though.
Yeah.
I would highly recommend it. Come back and we're gonna review the Keamoku seafood after we eat a piece of chicken here. Keamoku seafood. Let's get the sashimi plate, a pound. We're gonna order that right now. All right, let's go inside. Okay, so I ordered the combo. So if you saw on the menu, you probably saw a glance of that. I, took a few shots of that. Rewind the video, pause the video, look at the menu. They got some really fresh fish there. Yeah, it's really good.
So good.
Despite the fact that's in a place that has flies flying all over the place. It is really good. This is the best. I would not go to a place knowing that it's that dirty without having some reason to eat it, because I'll show you.
That color.
Yeah, look at the color.
God, that looks
and good thing we got good lighting because we're setting up the studio. We got the daikon at the bottom, or the cabbage stuff.
That's good.
So we're gonna eat each one of these. We got salmon, we got the ahi, and we got the hamachi. Ladies first. Thank you. Ahi.
That's fresh.
Pretty fresh. So as long as it's fresh every day, No wonder the flies are there. It's good. You don't eat, there's not a sit-down restaurant. It's like a market, They got a lot of volume going through, right? Very good. Whenever I go there, I consider these two places the same place because it's right next door. Hinao Street, Keamoku.
So the parking's kind of tight, so you want to reverse in. Or street parking.
But yes, support local. These dives are some of the best holes in the wall that you'll find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this fish is really good.
Yeah, I'm going to have some of that. if you're coming here to travel, I mean, if you're from here,
Yeah.
you probably would go to these places anyway. You know,
Yeah, I would.
Chinatown is especially that kind of place. It is dirty. It's freaking dirty. I'm sorry, you know, but yeah, you're gonna get your chassis, your all this kind of stuff. Maybe we'll do a little tour of that one day. What's the day where they have like I don't know, a lot of people there? You know, that's kind of like a thing you do here. You go to Chinatown. Chinatown's kind of a very staple. It's a staple place in Honolulu.
It's funny because it's like you see Chinatown. They have a lot of art there, like Mark's Garage. They have, you know,
Yeah.
that's where they used to have like First Fridays.
Yeah.
A lot of they have like hole in the wall, like not clubs, but bars with like DJing and music.
Yeah.
Good food though. Like they have good restaurants in Chinatown. Like a lot of good restaurants in Chinatown.
Yeah, you should check out stuff if you're a visitor. You know, a lot of places that might not look pleasing. I know it's hard to find, so this is why you got to tune in to us. We'll try it out for you.
Yes.
We'll let you know. Yes. Welcome all. Ikomamai. So, yes, as we continue on, like we said, this is the manifesto. This is my manifesto. Gonna just, you know, tell you my little statement of purpose. Statement of purpose. You know, so again, aim is to promote, you know, lifelong learning. Okay, I think it's good to learn. Why I don't advocate stagnating. You know, life is too. I mean, it's rare. Life is valuable. Listen, we're in a universe that is decaying all the time. You know, everything, if you left to its own devices, does decay, and like we are in a system magically somehow that came together that organized itself into atoms that can move and reflect upon itself. It's crazy. It's kind of rare and it's really formidable. So, you know, that being said, that is something that you should celebrate and that should not be just left to the wayside. You know, I think you should, you know, you don't have to do it. Don't have to do what I tell you. But it's highly suggested. Try to, you know, maximize the existence that you have here, you know?
Yeah.
Even if it's just like to enjoy it, you know, bring yourself joy, but, you know, not at the cost of others too much. You know, it's how do we find that balance? That is the question. I'm not going to answer that question now. I don't know. I'm still in this journey. I'm still some dude, you know, just trudging along, you know? So, a lot of where I get my inspiration from, or just sort of my, you know, morals. I don't know if a lot of people would think, a lot of people don't know me, but I am an atheist, yes. And I do think that even as an atheist, I can be a moral person, you know, because I've had that question asked before, you know. It's like, why, what drives you? It's like, don't you, as some nihilist, you're just going to think like nothing matters. You know, I don't think nothing matters. I think a lot of things matter, actually, you know. In fact, you know, it doesn't mean that I am, I just, you know, I don't subscribe to, you know, religion per se, but it doesn't mean that some religious beliefs I don't, you know, I don't agree with, you know.
Yeah.
It's just usually people will be good people if they want to be good people, you know, regardless of what religion, you know. I think people can get along like that. So I don't really focus too much on that. It's just my personal sort of way of thinking. I am atheist, but if you see, I am not that much different from a lot of people that are moral. If you know, have, you know, a good head on your shoulders, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just have a different way of going about it, and I think it's important to sort of always reflect upon just the fundamental things. Why I always ask, why is it moral? It's always just a fun question to ask. Why do I think this is moral versus not?
Mm-hmm.
You know, why is there stuff versus not stuff? Why do I want to do this versus why do I want to live versus not live? You know, or things like that. Those are just, take those questions for granted. You know, so I always use like first principles thinking. I really try to go by that. It's kind of what Elon Musk kind of makes it a little bit famous in how he goes about his daily business. That's how he's so successful. Actually, is he uses first principles, and I'm just gonna pull that up actually here. It's not him that made this concept up, by the way. I know a lot of people might not like Elon Musk for some reasons because he's now like a public figure of some sort, but yeah, that guy, he's one of my heroes. He's a smart guy. He's changing the world, man. Making rockets fly, and land themselves again. Making electric cars cool, But besides that, I mean, his way of thinking, why it's so, the main thing that I like about him is how he thinks. And you can pull up the wiki. I'm just going to read it out. In philosophy, okay, so this is what first principle is. A first principle is, in philosophy and science, a first principle is a basic proposition or assumption that cannot be deduced from any other proposition or assumption. So it's just down, like, you can always narrow it down to some basic laws. And the basic laws, are the laws of physics. Those you can't really question because, like, you're subject to it.
Right.
Like, you can't, I don't believe in gravity. You don't have a choice. Gravity is there,
Yeah, we're not floating.
Yeah. Well, we are floating, but
Well,
yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yeah. Gravity is like it's like a bend in space-time, but one of the main first principles that really is kind of like the inspiration of my, I guess, morality, I don't know, is second law of thermodynamics. And this is very basic. If I just said it, it's kind of obvious, like, but it's one of the most crazy things. If you take everything for granted, yeah, of course it's obvious. If I say you leave a cup of coffee just by itself, it's a hot cup of coffee. What's going to happen? It's going to get cooler. It's going to lose its heat spontaneously to the environment, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's more likely to do that. It wouldn't just have a cold cup of coffee and then have the heat just travel into it spontaneously unless you put in energy, So the universe, the second law says that there's the energy in the universe will always tend to disperse. Okay? What does it say? Entropy. Here, yes. Read it. I can't explain it so well. Read the...
Okay, so entropy is a scientific concept as well as a measurable physical property that is most commonly associated with state of disorder, randomness, or uncertainty.
Yes, it's pretty much everything is decaying. Yeah, but that's what entropy is. And the second law states that this is the only thing we've observed is that everything in the universe tends to disorder. Okay, so that, if you leave, for instance, if I build a sandcastle, if I leave it on the beach, what do you think is going to happen? Is it going to just stay there? Is it going to make a more sandcastle just by itself? No, it's going to turn into a sand dune by itself unless you put in energy, Our solar system, our planet is in this perfect zone where we get energy from the sun, and just in that perfect zone, it allowed matter to organize itself to the point where it makes us. All of the stuff that makes us up has been there since the beginning of the universe, but it has not been organized into this thing that can somehow think upon itself. We are pretty much matter that can think about itself. Pretty crazy. It's rare, I mean, and by definition, I am part of that organism, that system. Life is pretty much the reverse of entropy. It's like a reaction to entropy. It's a response to that, but it's going in the opposite direction because it does have input from an energy source. But It's actually really rare. We haven't seen aliens yet. I know we can say, yeah, I saw UFOs. Really, there's no proof that there was aliens.
Mm-hmm.
So this is all the life that we know. So this is precious. And as a life form, of course, I am biased to be self-amending. That's what life is. It's self-amending. So to self-improve is kind of imperative as part of my biological mechanism. It's that is my MO. It's like by definition. So, to want to self-improve, and also if you have more consciousness and you're able to include others in your endeavor of amending itself, then you will stop doing things at the cost of others. Because here's the thing: when you the whole, sorry to say, but the universe is just gonna die. It's gonna wither away. Sadly to say, sorry to burst your bubble. You're gonna die. Everything's gonna die. Everything's gonna turn into this sand dune, and all the energy is gonna disperse to asymptotically to absolute zero, which is pretty sad, but we're here now. Do stuff. Just get up and do stuff. I think it's better to do stuff, and don't be a dick, don't be an asshole. That's all.
Yeah.
Very simple, but obviously, then okay, you create energy, you're going to waste energy, you're going to create chaos somewhere else. I get it. You got to break a few eggs to make an omelet, I suppose, But if so there's a process. How do we manage entropy now? As a life form, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to undo entropy and try to prolong this state of organizedness and frolic in the chaos at the same time. We're just dancing, order and chaos, And then, we're just trying to organize, but who are we to include? Our loved ones. Okay, we want to screw these people, but the thing is, not really, but, if you have more consciousness, then you'll include more, people in your circle, your community. That's why it's important to have your, a sense of community, and then, you can make things more efficient. You can use science to do good stuff, and think of things, of reasons to be a moral person. So that's where I get it from. I'm not trying to wax philosophical about stuff, just I don't like seeing things decay. I know it's going to decay anyway. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. It's kind of inevitable, but once we're here, just enjoy the ride. That's what we're doing, So it's a good enough reason for me to try to do good stuff. So we encourage you to do good stuff too. What's good? Don't create too much chaos for some stuff around you. Again,
For others
yes,
as well.
for others.
Yeah.
And technically what happens, sun energy comes in, and then we radiate the energy out. The earth radiates all that energy out, So pretty much the space is getting all the chaos. So, but space is just space, so screw them. They're not, there's no, it's all right. I mean, really, I have to, address that there's some wasted energy going somewhere.
Right.
Yeah. So, but who's going to get it? Try not to, yes, if we didn't know how to manage our resources, what happens is you start using energy here, and then you dump it over there, and it's going to hurt somebody else. It's going to create chaos over there. So, without knowledge, yes, we have done that in the past, and that's why we have history to learn, to learn, yes, oh yeah, we did some pretty wasteful stuff. Okay, we know a little bit better now. We do this. Not perfect. It's just ongoing. So it's important to have that mindset, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's important to learn all the time because
you will get better. And what better time now that you can just let a computer learn it for you?
Technology allows us to learn things differently from before, when we didn't have all of this technology. It's all you need to do is type in on Google and you can learn a whole lot of things.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
There's still things at this point where you will come from, that I really do value, where it has to come from inside you. That's why I do advocate a lot of some practical philosophies. Mainly, I follow a lot of Stoicism and the way of the warrior, Budo. But actually, if you think about it, if you read some Budo stuff and Stoicism, it's pretty much kind of almost the same kind of stuff. You know, it's just the Asian version of Stoicism. Let's look it up. Actually, you know what? You look up Stoicism.
Okay.
Yeah, you can click on it. We're just gonna sit here and read
All right.
and compare notes. Budo.
Not.
The way of the warrior. And I am a warrior. Yes, Stoicism is pretty much we think of philosophers as people who just sit there and think the earth, stuff. They don't just sit there and think. Most philosophers are doers, So one of the most famous people in Stoicism is like Marcus Aurelius. That guy was like an emperor,
Emperor.
And what they advocate is to build mental fortitude and resilience to certain things and being able to accept hardships. I think he had this saying called amor fati. It's like I love of your situation. What I know you should watch Ryan Holiday. Before we go, I'm gonna have a list of all these useful podcasts that I like to watch. Yeah, you get a lot of value from it. It's why not, right? Like, why if you're gonna put on some stuff on YouTube and scroll and all that kind of stuff, you might as well just have some stuff that at least changes your mindset to do something, instead of just like,
It's good to see things in different perspectives.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Definitely, because you don't want to be in your tunnel vision and just seeing, narrow.
But also, I think positive mindset also has to have the a property of like it has to have a sort of push to action to something. I mean.
So what do you mean by positive mindset? Like when
positive
can have this connotation of being.
I'm not saying good necessarily. Yeah. Well, say okay, it's going to be good, but I don't like to say good. It has to.
What is something
positive? Meaning it will mobilize change. It will actively mobilize change. And when I say negative, I don't necessarily mean like bad either. You know what I mean? Like sometimes there's some negative things that are good where you withhold action.
Mm-hmm.
Withholding action. It's like but I think being positive and good positive is what you want to do. A lot of the time, especially if you want to mobilize change, you do have to put in a little bit of elbow grease,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think being able to take criticism, being able to, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and know what you have to change. You have to get up and do the stuff. So we do advocate that a lot. We're trying to do some of that stuff ourselves. So you'll see, we'll get better at some things. I don't know what it is yet. But if you do have any comments, we do encourage you to, say stuff to us in the comment section. And like and subscribe, all that. Yeah, that's usually that's how I see positive mindset.
Because sometimes that word positive has that. I mean, it's funny. It has a negative connotation to it sometimes. So that I think that was good that you kind of defined what your positive meant.
Yes. Oh yes. Good point. I don't know if you mean this, but I know a lot of people that positive vibes only and like that.
Yeah.
Listen. There is such thing as toxic positivity. I'm gonna put that as a coin term because it's like there's a point you can't not acknowledge bad things.
Yeah. Well, some positive things come from things that happen. Some negative things that happen in life. I mean, unfortunately, if negative things are going to happen to people, but growth.
Yeah.
It becomes
growth
positive.
mindset.
Yeah.
That's important. Like people, there's a mindset that people like. I don't know. If you failed once, that's your identity now. Like, or you know what I mean. Like you're not who you were before. you know, and some people adopt that mentality. I think that is not conducive to anything productive, really. To tell yourself that this is who you are, you know what I mean? Especially if it's not going to serve you in self-improvement is exactly that. It's not useful. So positive would be a mindset. Have a mindset that will be inviting to growth and change, because you can change, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't identify as the things that you did yesterday or today even, you know what I mean? Like, you have to, yeah. We're still here, so you have the opportunity. Every day is an opportunity, no matter how old you are, you know? We're getting old, but if you say, oh, I'm too old, like a lot of people say, oh, I'm too old to do this, you already dug yourself a hole. You said you are too old, so you identified as the thing. That's kind of almost an excuse to not try to do anything,
Right.
you know? Or I've had some people say to me, oh, you play piano really well, you're so talented. I couldn't do that because I'm not talented. So what? I'm talented? Is that why I just happened? You know? It doesn't do anyone any favors. First of all, it doesn't do them a favor to say that. And it doesn't, it kind of hurts my feelings. Like, hey, man, I worked hard.
Yeah, you worked hard for it.
Bro.
Well, yeah, having that growth mindset is like, if it doesn't challenge you, then you're not doing it correctly. And so with learning piano and learning something new, we're gonna fail.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not saying you can do whatever you want. Yeah. Anyone can do whatever they want. You know?
Right.
Like I said before, the world is gonna decay anyway. It'll die. So will you. Sorry to break it to you. This is an adult show. It's a kids show for adults. You should know that by now. Okay? That should maybe then mobilize you to do something. You can do something. Come on. Maybe. This is just a suggestion. You know? But sometimes you don't have to do stuff. You can have other things do it for you. That's the craziest part. We live in such a crazy world now. What do I mean? AI. I love technology. I love technology. And honestly, as I was saying before, I was really cut off by technology.
By technology.
Or the deficiency of it. Yeah, technology is what defines us as a species. If you were to look at it from an outside perspective, they came in, like I said, the aliens come in, they see, the cats, all these things, they got the 4 legs, blah, blah, blah. Our thing is not that we walk on 2 legs. Yeah, it's because of that. But the big thing is that we have artifacts of what we call technology. And that just means the study of craft, actually. Technology doesn't have to be the artifact itself. It's just a way of projecting out to the world. It could be a framework, a mental framework, a language. Language is technology, The word is technology, So that does kind of bring us to your trip that you went. Was really relevant to this day and age, which is AI in education. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I went on a trip to Philadelphia, and it was for an ISTE conference. So that's, I believe, the International Society of Technology for Education.
Mm-hmm.
And a big hot topic was AI. But let me just talk about a little bit about the conference a little. It's it was a good networking event. You meet educators and directors, vendors from all over the United States and in other countries as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just have breakout sessions about the latest technology in education, because a big thing is bringing technology into the classroom. Mm-hmm. And bringing it and using it responsibly, and using it where it's just not just a tool to use. It is more of part of the curriculum. Instead of just using the computer to type with, you have these apps that you can create books and you can create videos, and it just brings learning to a higher level. Mm-hmm. And so one of the biggest topics there, the hot topic, was AI.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of a lot of teachers, myself included, we're afraid at first because it's such a, AI can write an essay for someone, and so we needed to know how can us as teachers deal with that, because we check for plagiarism, so now we have this added thing of AI created essays, AI created art even.
Yeah.
But going to this conference really changed my perspective about AI, because it's not going to go away.
Mhm.
It really isn't going to go away. So GM was there with ISTE, and they partnered up to bring AI into classrooms and to teach teachers how to leverage it and how to use it and how to teach kids how to use it responsibly.
Mhm.
And they said that by us not bringing it into the classroom would be a disservice to them, because AI is the future. And GM was talking about how bringing AI into the classroom is prepping students for future jobs in AI engineering.
Mhm.
And that's really important, because if we don't teach them how to use it, then we wouldn't be preparing them for future jobs that they might be able to get.
Yeah. Not just job. I mean, technology does empower us. Using it responsibly has always been the issue. I think AI. Anyone who does relinquish the use of technology, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage already by default. So. That being said, just that's AI safety is a huge thing, though. A lot of people aren't thinking of that. That's Elon Musk's sort of rhetoric around AI. But that is important. It's an exciting future.
Yeah.
I'm not scared. I'm just going along for the ride.
Yeah.
I
mean, the one thing that ISTE, the one point that ISTE made that I was like, well, yeah, that's true, is that AI does not replace the human, and that's the. You might differ, but in the classroom, with teachers being scared of using it, they're thinking like, oh, is it going to replace the human, the student writing their essays? And they had to tell us that AI is not going to replace the human, meaning like if you're asking them to write something for you on like Chat GPT, you still need to go in there and put your voice into it. So it doesn't replace your voice. I guess maybe I should kind of.
Here's the thing. You have to be ready for. I think unequivocally, it will get better than humans. We have to be ready for that, and it's not. It's important to ask what it is fundamentally to be human to begin with. Like I said, we are the technology creators. AI is our child. The thing that we. I'm not so. I don't know, like plagiarism. Here's the thing. Now. You're just upping the bar now with AI. Now that you have this tool, you don't have an excuse to make like a thing. You could start off as that. That's fine. There's other dangers than just doing homework.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's.
Yeah.
If it starts making decisions for you that have irreversible consequences, that's where we have to be literate and to empower yourself. You have to know how to use it.
Yeah.
And we might have to become it. You have to merge with it. It's like you can't beat them, join them. That's why if that Neuralink thing comes out, like version 5, I'm getting it. I'm going to be beaming myself to outer space. But let's check out some photos of your, we got a little slideshow going on. We're going to maybe some commentary here, So let's take a look at your little trip.
fun trip. Getting there not so fun, but the actual trip itself was fun.
Yep. Yeah, AI, yeah. So that's a big topic.
Huge.
Music. It is a huge topic now. I think it'll help people a lot. The thing about it's just what are the dangers? A lot of dangers. You can fake things a lot. Yeah, plagiarism is one thing. You can, public figures can be faked now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild. You can make yourself sound like
Have you seen
a
those
celebrity.
you seen those
Sorry.
those Arnold Schwarzenegger ones where they take Arnold Schwarzenegger and they put him all kinds of movies.
I think I saw that.
Yeah, there's one in Thriller. This one he's in Happy Gilmore. It's pretty funny that that's one of the first sort of applications that they're using these deep fakes now. But deep faking is that's where you'll get like a lot of you can fabricate real misinformation now for real.
And that's why media literacy and news literacy, information literacy is very important to bring and start them young. So because kids are tech savvy and they're going to be experimenting with these apps. So
I think good old critical thinking is a good start.
Yeah.
Like there's craft and then there's it all starts from inside. Technology is the study of craft. It starts here. You have to have some framework. Yeah. And then everything is an extension of us. So if you think that way, you are AI. AI is you. AI is the hammer. It's your hammer. You can use a hammer to build a house. You can use it to beat someone over to death with it.
Yeah. That's a good analogy.
Yeah. I mean it's an age-old analogy. But keep that in mind. Technology. People always say technology. Oh, do you have some technology? It's like clothes. Language. Like what are you talking about? Everything is technology.
Yeah.
You got to think of it that way. I mean, compared to, it's not just technology; it's information technology that is the thing. It's once the universe was born, everything was electrons, then electrons to atoms, and then they formed stars. Stars made more complex stuff by churning more materials. The Earth was whacked so many times by meteors and comets and stuff. That's how we actually got stuff from outer space to make us. Carbon didn't come from our sun. Gold didn't come from our sun. It came from somewhere else. We just got whacked thousands of times. It doesn't matter. We're kind of get whacked and get killed once more time. But our Earth just take a few more million years to make another life form. Hopefully, we're not the last one. We made it this far. Hopefully we make it to the singularity, guys. Let's use the AI. Let's become AI. And become more conscious with the universe. Make more matter conscious of itself. It's just a suggestion. I'm not trying to start a cult or anything, But this is what we're going to do. But I'm not an AI yet. I'm not a robot. I am still in my rotting sack of protoplasm, lumbering around like a caveman, And I still have caveman tendencies, I still like to fight. Yeah, fighting is a big part. I think as long as you're in this rotting meat sack, you should try to not let it rot so fast, And I should still think you should treat it like you should, because at the end of the day, we're cavemen. And women, whatever. Not cave. I don't know why I said caves. Not all of them were living in caves, but it's just, for lack of better term, I didn't live in those days. But I somehow have something deep within me that is kind of akin to the people that lived those days. A little bit more bougie, I got some streets here. I got a table. I got clothes that aren't made of bleeding dead animals. It's a little bit more bougie, but you got to get in touch with your the caveman side. We evolved from that, so I think doing things that are more natural to that environment are more, we're more attuned to that. let's say, So that's why I do martial arts. Martial arts is perfect for that, especially for men. Men are, ooga booga, we're gonna get all aggressive and stuff, Men need to get that out,
Yeah.
I think it's real important, especially for men. I mean, men and women are different, but I mean, both men and women, we need to try to stay in shape, We used to run around hunting animals, I saw this podcast with Joe Rogan. He was talking to this guy that lived with a tribe for like, I don't know how, but he was like, yo, everyone has got abs there. It's like incredible. Like a kid was walking around, was like, oh, do you want a snack? Okay, cool. He just walks up, he just snatches a bird with his hand, just like, push, like that. Okay, here we go. Just like, and then they asked him, this guy's walking around, they're like, this guy, he looks like he's never caught anything before. He's like, he hasn't. It's like they have food, So, I think that our bodies were made to do that. But I mean, like, I love technology and all, but man, you're sitting there. You're not designed to do that. Get up, man. Get up. You're not tuned to do that. If we were a robot and we're tuned our bodies to just freaking lie there and be telepathic and just like spread energy by just radiating, fine. We're not that though. You gotta run around,
So what are some of the benefits of jiu-jitsu?
It's just, I mean,
besides,
yeah, I think there's a certain understanding of yourself when you learn the capacity of violence. I know it sounds bad, but I think to be dangerous and to be in right now it's simulated, it's controlled, but I mean, like, yeah, cavemen back in the day, our ancestors, which are not far off from us, they had to actually go, and that was what they were. They had to go and be violent, and that was a trait that they had to sort of wield and control and use as a tool when necessary, and it's not necessarily just going aggressive and going ham and stuff like that, but learning how, when you have that tool, you will have the lexicon of how to control it. If you don't know violence, then it's most of the people that I meet that don't understand fighting that are the most insecure, and they kind of just get a little bit aggressive most of the time. The people that are the killerest of the killers, they're the nicest people I know. Nicest people, and it actually relieves a lot of stress. There's all kinds of benefits. I don't think you should not do it. The only thing is, sorry guys, it's difficult. It's difficult. Boo-hoo. Gotta do some stuff. I don't think anything is worth doing if it's not difficult. You should not just reward yourself. Like, gonna have a hobby. Yes, not all hobbies are made equal either. It's like, why do I advocate music as well? Music is actually, it's funny. Let's go back to caveman days. I'm always gonna go back to like comparing us to cavemen. It's like, what? Like, did cavemen do this? It's not a moral thing or anything. It's just to understand, like, yes, we're still those ooga booga people, running around, except we had history, we had an accumulation of knowledge of how to make technology. Now I got buildings, I got, look at all these lights, I got this chair, I didn't build that, If I was born another time, I'd be running around killing saber-toothed tigers or running away from them for that matter. But now we have all that, but we still have these, sort of ooga booga tendencies, so you got to acknowledge
innate
that.
traits.
Yeah, they're innate and they don't go away too quickly until, I mean, if you're going to like do some gene editing, which is possible, that's okay. Then you can be like, okay, we can take away certain things and now we're just like this new, artificial species, which it can be possible, but I'm not going in that direction. So yes, get some exercise. I say learn how to fight. Yes, learn how to fight. And that's one thing I've noticed about Hawaii, actually. People are really scrappy. A little bit. Yeah. Per capita. But they're not in a rude way. They would scrap and they'd actually be like kind of nice to each other. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Well,
a little bit.
Yeah, like I guess. Yeah.
I
mean, they scrap it out. Then they're like, okay,
like, yeah.
we're good.
But speaking of which, jujitsu, for all you guys that do jujitsu, that's what I do. Sometimes I'll put some instructionals on here. So today I got that little Easter egg for you. So check it out. I got one exercise. It's a solo exercise. I know jujitsu, you got to practice with people all the time. Relies on partners, but you should do some solo exercise. You get some return on investment, and I'll show you a application of that. So we're gonna just watch it, and we'll be right back. The grabbing off the wall. So the first variation is I call it the foot under. In this case, the under foot will step under, and I'm gonna go that way. First I'm gonna do, just tuck myself. I never wanna push off of the wall. I'm just using the wall as a guide. Okay, I want more a vertical motion of my hips. So to achieve that, I can lift myself off of the ground. You see that? I'm putting my toes close to my butt. I'm gonna replace my butt with my knee, but with the Grammy roll, I have to simultaneously duck my head toward the wall. So I'm in this position. I just kick off of the ground, and then the wall is just the guide. So if I go to the left, in this case, the understepping variation is stepping under, getting up. See, my hip was replaced by my knee. You see that? I replaced my hip with my knee, then I push off the ground, then I just anchor. So a little bit faster, like this. Boom, boom, boom. So this is one solo drill you can do if you don't have any partners. Boom, boom. Do that knee slice pass defense, right? Let's say she's trying to knee slice pass. If she had the arm and she had the underhook and she was already at the head, this is already too late, right? So this is assuming that you did not let them get to that position, right? She initiated the knee slice. I immediately do not let her get this, and I'm gonna prevent her from getting any close to me. So if she's trying to get close to me, I'm gonna frame with this hand, with the thumb down, here, just to make sure she can't grab any collar. I'm really far away, and I'm based out here, and I have the knee shield. Very important, I got the knee shield. Just like I was replacing my hip with my knee on the wall, I have my hand up. This is even easier. I can do a half technical stand up, meaning I just kind of use the knee shield to rip that out. See, I'm on my knee now. Now, just like the same thing, I have a lot of anchors. It should be a lot easier to roll. I'm gonna roll towards her on my inside shoulder, which should be the left in this case. And I just roll, and it's a lot easier than one. She wants to get this hand, I don't let her. I get the frame, get the knee shield. I get a half technical stand using my knee shield just to block it. Now I'm on my knee. A lot easier when I had the hand, right? Just roll back into the inside shoulder, and boom. Back into the cool. Lasso guard to triangle setup, right? So let's say I set up my lasso guard, right? Boom, boom. Let's assume we already have this part down, right? We get your lasso, so we start to switch the grip. This one goes the other one from over. Make sure that happens like that. Don't get it from under, get it from over, because you'll be tangled after. Okay, make sure you get this knee shield kind of always there just to keep your distance. And again, just like the wall, that wall exercise, I'm gonna shut out a little bit just to make some distance. I keep that knee shield just to create enough distance to have mobility with my leg. Now I can step under, right? I keep this just to keep that distance. I'm gonna do the same thing like the wall, replacing my hip with my knee and diving under. Keeping this active to control my distance. Kick off the floor, boom! Shoot my hip up, right into the triangle. My lasso, right? Okay, switch my grip. Cross. This one grabs it from over. I can use the foot and the hip and the lasso knee shield just to get some distance. See, I created my distance, right? Maybe you guys saw that. Now I can put my foot under. I replace the hip right with my knee. Using this shield just to keep that distance still. Kicking off the ground. Boom. And I set up the triangle and I get the finish after. Good shots, yeah. Inversions, that's the new hot thing. So hot right now. Like Hansel, Yeah. Do some solo exercises. I'm gonna have a little series, show those applications later. We have other inversions coming up, guys. Berimbolo, Imanari. Imanari is the one that people want to do the most, Just the cool one with the leg lock. Yeah. Yeah. So, but sometimes I do Muay Thai too. but I practice like once a year.
Battery.
Yeah. You train though, yeah?
Yeah.
How's that going?
It's good.
Yeah, we were rudely interrupted by our lack of memory. I mean, memory cards. What were we saying? Martial arts.
Martial arts. You asked me if I trained.
Yes.
How's it going?
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's always good.
It's always good. I did it just because I wanted a challenge.
Yes.
And I wanted to get in shape.
Mhm.
And I wanted to bond with my son because he
Yeah.
knows how to do it. And so sometimes I bring him along and he holds pads for me and he wants to spar now.
Yeah.
So yeah. It's fun.
One thing I have to say about martial arts though is that once you get good, it won't get you in shape anymore because you're technical. The whole point of a technique is not to use, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, once you get good,
You have to
yeah, it's
find other means.
yeah, because like fitness is fitness. You want to get, yeah, so that's the thing. Like some people are like, dude, I know guys that look like really like fat, out of shape, but they're like really good black belts, but they just move so like, I just have to do this and I kill you, you know?
Right.
Yeah. So that's the thing. But I would say yes, that's the fun way. I think martial arts, like getting in shape, is a byproduct of it. It's a good byproduct, but if you're doing it to get in shape, there's like, the fitness kickboxing or like sparring kickboxing. Because depending on your goal, you want to learn how to fight.
I wanted to learn how to fight.
Yeah, learning how to fight is like, you have to spar.
And I just wanted, because my son did it, I wanted to understand it too. So, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it.
Is he gonna fight?
I don't know, cause I asked him, cause there's some MDLs and some other stuff coming down here in September. And so he hasn't trained in a little bit because he was working. So I'm going to ask him if he's gonna wanna train to fight.
The martial arts competition is pretty. I guess that's like the most. That's the highest. I consider that kind of like the most pure form of competition. Like I think Rogan said it once. He's like, okay, you play basketball, some guy slam dunks. This is all like coming from the macho, like, insecure, like, yeah, I kick his ass type of thing. You get slam dunked on in a basketball game. In the back of your head, you'll be like, yeah, I can kick his ass though. You know what I mean? But if you got your ass kicked, you're not gonna be like, it doesn't work the other way around.
Yeah.
You can't be like, yeah, I was slam dunking that guy. It's the ultimate form of competition. It's as cool as that sounds. There's certain things in certain competitions that are sustainable or not sustainable. You know what I mean? If you're doing striking, that can only last so long. I'm just gonna say that outright. If you're gonna be a boxer, it's a good sport, but just one thing, you're getting knocked in the head. Yeah. So a lot of people who do striking, they tend to stop after a certain time, and rightfully so. Because you can get the CTE is real, but if you're gonna do fighting like that, there's a small window. It's just a small window. And if you're gonna be a fighter, you can't play fight. You can't a little bit. You gotta do it. Yeah. And to think all in terms of like, your investment. You can't go in kind of half-assed for certain things. Some things they don't have a lot of stake in terms of like your health. Okay, jiu-jitsu, it's just okay. Your joint health.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can do jiu-jitsu forever, but I'll have bodily pain forever, but it's part of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Other things like, again, I'm just talking about hobbies here, like that I choose to do. It has to, I think the ones that are better are the ones that are more challenging. Like if you watch Andrew Huberman's podcast, he'll talk about the dopamine thing. I mean, you can have all kinds of hobbies. I could eat fried chicken as a hobby. I actually do that.
Is that
You
good
saw
for
me.
you? Is that good for you?
Yeah. I mean, there's some hobbies that are instantly gratifying, you know? So, like, yeah, anything can be a hobby, but that's why you got to have something where you're not instantly gratified, you know? Like, for instance, I'm going to say this, and some people might not like me saying this, but like video games, for instance, I'm not fully against all of them, you know what I mean? Some of them can, like, some people say, yes, they bring some skill, hand-eye coordination, and, like, you know, strategy and all that stuff, and I get that. But the problem with some things is, yes, it's pre-designed with a lot of sensationalism, you know? Sensationalism is dopamine. It's like you know, it's like taking a hit of cocaine. You know what I mean? Like little small hits of them. You're getting it up front. You know, if you work like the way dopamine works, and don't quote me on this, but you know, I mean, I did study psychology and neuroscience a little bit. You have to, when you have a dopamine rush or you know, a release, it will crash. You know, and subsequent and conversely, if you have a crash of mood, it's a precursor to being ready to have a dopamine hit sometime when you do something else other than sitting around moping, you know? But if you always reward yourself, then without having done anything just right up front, then you're training yourself to kind of be unsatisfied with a bunch of stuff, you know? You're not supposed to be happy all your life. You know, and this is another thing. If you did something and then that you're proud of, you accomplished something, you're not supposed to reward yourself. Ideally, you don't reward yourself for that. The reward is that you got it done. You know, that's how you optimize your brain to have a healthy way of being, you know, happy and rewarded and modulating your behavior. I mean, I'm not saying I do any of this. You know, I heard that it's better if you don't reward yourself right away for doing something, accomplishing something. You know, the thing that you did was the intrinsic reward. I'm saying this, I'm still working on it. You know?
We're a work in progress.
Yeah, we're a work in progress too. You know? And music is one of those things, you know, music is a hobby, but if you're just like listening to the music and like listening to music is good, you get the dopamine rush, but if you're not the one creating it is a lot harder, you know? You got to go through that hard thing, then that dopamine rush is better, you know? But I'll be honest, I was a DJ. Yes, I go play the gigs. I do my music thing, and yes, yeah, I have some drinks sometimes. It feels great. But you know, if you want to have like, you know, like really the true scientific mindset of like the optimizing how to have a sustainable way that your brain is just not gonna be desensitized to your dopamine. Yeah, you should be unhappy sometimes. Okay, and happiness is not the goal in life. Happiness is a part of your life. You know, that's the way I see it. I mean, everyone thinks happiness is like, oh, are you happy? He's like, you're not supposed to be happy all the time. It's not supposed to be like big orgasm all the time, you know? Anyway, just saying, guys. But I hope you took something out of this, like always, or maybe we just rambled on too much. I don't know. Doesn't matter. This is our little podcast. Please like and subscribe, you know? Soul Mech Podcast. Tell all your friends. We'll be having more guests come on. You know, leave comments below, right below. Any suggestions you have, we're gonna put the email all in the description. All of the sources for anything, any links that we have, check in the description. Anything else you need to plug? Besides like and subscribe, do like and subscribe. Hit the notification button. We will have monthly. This is a monthly podcast from now on. Yeah. From now until further notice. One day we will maybe do live. You know, to get more involved in like a immediate communication.
More connection with you.
Yeah. But right now, you can just spy on us talking. We just happen to be looking in your direction, you know? But I hope someone on the other side Okay.
Thank you for entertaining
So-
our podcast.
From us to you, and from Hawaii to the world, we are
Yes.
Soul Mech Podcast. So we will see you next time. Later, man.
Thank you.